Hello, my name is Frederik Schulte, and on behalf of the Austrian Cultural Forum, I'm very glad that we can have this workshop. Right now, we're quite a small but certainly exquisite circle, so I expect nothing but the best tonight. Today we have two very special guests from Vienna, Tomasz Skweres and Kaoko Amano. We already had the pleasure to host them this May, if I remember correctly, at the Poznańska Wiosna Festival, which basically means, well, spring in Poznań festival. And then both of them played a concert here in the Austrian Cultural Forum. And back then we had the idea, because the whole war in Ukraine was starting and there were a lot of Ukrainian refugees coming to Poland, to Warsaw. A lot of musicians got displaced, and we kind of wanted to contribute in some kind of way. So we came up with this idea to host a workshop online. I know it's a quite peculiar idea, because it's not easy to do this kind of event online with the instruments, with the microphones, but we decided to go ahead anyways. So without further ado, because I like to talk a lot, and I promise that I'm gonna keep it short, so I'm gonna give the word to Kaoko, who's gonna start the workshop, and then we're gonna hear some more from Tomasz. If everybody has any questions later on, we're gonna do a question round. You can turn on your microphone, your camera, or you can just type your questions in the chat. And since we're a small circle, if you want to turn on your webcam so we can see each other, please feel free to do so. So, Kaoko, the word is yours.
Thank you, Frederik. So, hi everyone. My name is Kaoko Amano. I'm a singer, and especially for the contemporary music. And I was in May with Tomasz Skweres in Warsaw, and already performed some pieces, some great pieces. One of them was the most important piece of the 20th century, as said, by Luciano Berio's Sequenza Third. So I will sing a little bit now in this screen and with this microphone. Maybe you guys can't hear not so good, but I can introduce a little bit about this piece. And so so like that. Maybe you have never heard some like this like music, but I can show you now a little bit for the piece. Sorry, just a moment, please. Yes. So I can now introduce you some singing technique in contemporary music with this piece at first, and I can show you how the music history comes to this piece from Arnold Schoenberg or Alban Berg and von Webern. So Viennese Schule, Wiener Schule, Viennese school. So we will see. He is burial. He was born in 1925 to 2003. So his masterpiece, there are so many different ways, but the most lovely and so expressive pieces are Sequenza series. So Sequenza series include movements from Sequenza first for flute till Sequenza 14 for cello. These are all for one, almost for one instrument, and what I sang was this one. Maybe you can see in the third low here, Sequenza third. This piece was written 1965 for Kathy Barbarian. She was a great singer and also woman, also a married woman from by Luciano Berio. So this piece was for Kathy Barbarian, and all pieces are so dedicated for one person at first, and it's really a great job of him, and it was really so and next. So that this piece is a score for Sequenza third, what I sang. Now a little bit. So I can sing now. You can see the score a little bit more, a little bit maybe slowly from the beginning. It will, sorry, it will from here. So it sounds like that. And here you can see tense muttering walking on the stage. So he wrote really detailed remark for any part, so every part. So you can see also maybe here argent. It means like that. And this small thing is with tongue, or really normal. So the normal notation is a third low and the end of third low. It will be like that. given me few words like that. So every small things are there, and you can read anytime what I can do or what I should do. So it is the list. So he wrote at the whole piece 49 recitation marks. It's really different from the maybe we can compare with Mozart or Bach or something. So they gave us only one or two approximately remark, like andante or presto or something. But he gave me so many recitations mark, and sorry, he wanted to have the really this intensity. It is like calm or joyful in the middle, or nervous lach, like that, or open laughing. Open laughing is like that. Also, it's really so tiny, maybe tiny different, but it's very important to make differences for us. So maybe return to the text. He wrote for this piece author's note, and I will read a little bit from that. In Skweres thought, I tried to assimilate many aspects of everyday vocal life, including trivial ones, without losing intermediate levels or indeed normal singing. So he said, it's not like normal music, but normal life. So what is a normal life? It's really difficult to say nowadays, but so life is the big theme from him. So I will read again. In order to control such a wide range of vocal behavior, I felt I had to break up the text in an apparently devastating way, so as to be able to recuperate fragments from it on different expressive planes, and to reshape them into units that were not discursive but musical. So he wrote here, it's not normal music, but it should sound, or it should be sung as music. It's really, really important thing in 20th century's music or 21st centuries. So now for the contemporary music, it is always really so limitable as music or noise, music or speak or voice or instrument, really we can't decide really in this side or this side. We can enjoy this balance maybe, and it's a really great experience, as said, for the contemporary music, I think. I read again from his author's note. That text had to be homogeneous in order to lend itself to a project that consisted essentially of exorcising the excessive connotations and composing them into musical units. This is a Madla text written by Max Guta for sequenza third. So I will show you the text in this piece. The whole piece is like 8 minutes or just 8 minutes. He wrote, so Luciano Berio wrote just how long I should take or I might take for the part, and its whole piece takes 8 minutes. And 8 minutes, we can hear only these 3 lines. Give me a few words for woman, to sing your truth, allowing us to build a house without worrying before night comes. So this is a text by Max Guta. He's Switzerland. He's born in Switzerland, and he's an author and also politician or so multi person. And Luciano Berio has good contact with him, and he take one or these 3 lines. So it is really interesting for this time. I mean, the sequenza third was composed 1965. So it is very very important. What is the music history? This text to see. So it is not like Wagner or Puccini. What we show, what we sing, and we can sing really this reality of the woman. So in this such a emotion of one lady, and it is really interesting piece, I think. So I can show you guys what we can see in this piece. So maybe you know about the notation a little bit, maybe, and you know, so really normal black note and a white note, and with such a so like these flags, I think. But it is really complicated for the contemporary music what he wrote. There are 3 different big differences. One is the sang tones. normal sing tone. Also like that. And next one will be whisper related and voice sounds. It's really typical notation for the contemporary music, I think. And it will be maybe sound like just a moment, I will show you another part. Yeah, maybe the first like that whispered, and well, it's a like that. Also, it shouldn't be sang, and voice sound, and maybe the third ones are the half note, as said, sung and whispered sound as short as possible. So it's not like this notation. I hope you guys see a little bit by speed as this notation, but so with notes, I can or we can recognize how we should sing. So maybe next. It will be really interesting. He gave us an example. So, like also intonation. Intonation should keep on the whole piece, but it will be always relative. This is a really important line in the middle of the piece. We can sing, or you can sing also at the normal voice, normal speaking voice in that middle line, like you can hear it should be a little bit lower as the speaking voice, and it should be a little bit higher. So, and you know, normally these 5 lines for the note, and here we can see only 3 lines here, and that means also relative. So always what important is a middle line. Where is the middle line for my voice, for your voice, and it's almost relative. And it should be really good to intonate. It should be in the this note. So like that is for register and intonation for this piece. So, and not only to sing, but also there are some gestures or many gestures in this piece. Here I can, or he wrote, gestures and special singing technique. Laughter must always be clearly articulated. It should sound really clear laughing. And it's a really different way. Maybe you can see here with this mark, cough. The cough is cough. Also, like that. Also, in this piece, I should also cough. And also, the next one will be snapping fingers gently, also, like that. So we will focus. Also, like dreaming and like enjoying and so on. So, and this is also really important thing for the contemporary music, for singing especially. This one, with mouth closed. So we have now a good opportunity with sing microphones. So we can hear also with, and you can hear also the closed mouth voice. And especially for this piece, we should not have a microphone, but this mouth closed tone can recognize. So, and maybe so the remarkable thing is a dental tremolo. Also, tremolo is a like that, and dental tremolo is a dental, also with teeth, and with this teeth, we can sing also tremolo. So and so on. There and yeah, and yeah, the last three things are with hand. We can sing also hand over mouth. As I can speak also, and you can hear me, I hope. And it is also one effect to sing music in contemporary music. So then I can see some musical history, or I can show you how is the development for this music from our Arnold Schoenberg, and the right person is Alban Berg. And Schoenberg was born 1874 and till 1951. So as you see, and these two composers from Vienna are really important for the 20th century's music and the 21st century's music. I think you can maybe know, or you know maybe the 12 tunes music scale. Also, it is some sample from Pierrot Lunaire by Schoenberg, Arnold Schoenberg, and he wrote here not with 12-tone tune, but like some 12-tone technique are recognized. So, but some really important, one of the really important thing by this piece is he wrote in the singing part, not as a singer, but Sprechgesang, so speaking, singing. So it will be normally, maybe you can see den Wein mit Augen trinkt. These sound will be maybe with the note, really note, with singing voice, but he didn't mean. He wanted to have den Wein, den man mit Augen trinkt, gießt nach der Mond im Wogen nieder. Also, like that. It should be sound, really like speaking voice. So it is the first part. Den Wein, den man mit Augen trinkt, gießt nach der Mond im Wogen nieder. Und this part, he wrote here gesungen, the singen. Stillen Horizont. You can hear maybe a different, really good, I hope, with Zoom. And he wrote only this part with singing voice and another part with this cruise. Horizont. These are really, really important and interesting thing by the Pierre Lumière, what he start in the music history. And he also composed 4 toneless, without tone, without voice, like that. It was not normal till that. It was the Wagner thing, or so always really, really good with good voice, or Puccini, Verdi, and so on. And it was really so resistant. so I said from Schoenberg time to today. This notes, you can see not anymore the 5 lines. So it was really almost familiar for you. Luciano Berio has also this line, this middle line, and this piece is an ode to Napoleon Bonaparte from Schoenberg, and this is also like Sprechgesang, but really near to so speaking. So you can see in the next one, this is one of the part of Lulu. This is one of the greatest opera by Alban Berg, and he wrote this Lulu. Already, you can see in the middle, this part is a Shigol, it is an old man, and he has man, and he should sing. Also, ein Aus is so inhale and exhale. And it will be with music, always with music, but it should not with voice. It should be not with voice. I think these techniques are really remarkable and interesting for us, especially for the contemporary music world. So not only beautiful thing. Not only beautiful voices are precious, but really so reality are for us familiar, I think, and it can be also like music. So, and I think the Luciano Berio had contact with Schoenberg, and also some other special composers of 20th centuries. I will show you this piece. This guy's of my speech. He is a John Cage, U.S. American, and he wrote a lady without note. He composed as painted and with colors. And this is also really interesting and really fresh for us. How can we make with colors as note? So, yeah, I can show you when I can sing you really more, but it will be very long. So it was really beginning first line, I think, for the contemporary music, what we sing and what we play. But I am very, very happy if you guys will have interest for the contemporary music with that. So, thank you very much. And Frederick is gone, I think. So maybe you guys can you can maybe make a question, make questions. I hope that Frederick will come back, but you can maybe make a microphone on or a video on, and you can speak some or please make a question.
I have a small question, if I can.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Julia. So basically, I just wanted to say that I have a tiny bit of an experience already with performing modern and contemporary music, but I wanted to say if you have any advice for singers that are interested in singing modern and contemporary music. If you have any advice.
You are a singer also? Sorry?
Yes, yes.
Great.
So I just wanted to ask if you have any advices for young singers.
So sorry, I can't hear. Not so good. Can you?
I can type in the chat. I can type it. Just a second.
Yeah. And I can hear now. Maybe.
Okay, how about now? Is it okay?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, so I wanted to ask if you have any advice for contemporary singers, for young singers who are just starting.
For young singers, especially, it's really, really important to be careful with your voice. You shouldn't sing those things at the first period of the studies, I think, because our instrument are really, really fine and really fragile. And if you sing with inhale, like that. It should be really careful. We use, or I use, always with diaphragm, with for the normal singing also, and inhale voice also. And this technique are really important for us. Yeah, not with only the throat or like that as to speak as instrument. And you can teach maybe for your student, or you can sing also yourself. How is a comfortable way to this crazy tone? There are really some ways. Yeah, I think.
Thank you very much. That's all.
Not at all.
That was my question.
Yeah. And another question, maybe?
I put on my video. I have a question. Hi,
Oh.
Kaoko.
Hi.
I would like to know what the longest piece is you've done for your voice, and how you managed, the longest concert you had to give.
It depends. There are not so many pieces for only one person, I think, only one singer. And by opera or by music theater, there are some singers, and we can change. So if you want to know, maybe I can sing solo maybe 1 hour through, maybe. And maybe audience will have also a pause from my voice, I think.
Then can I ask, the Cage piece that you showed us, John Cage?
Yes.
How long was this example?
This aria is for solo voice, and this is almost 8 minutes, I think. And it's also a very crazy thing, and but maybe I think the Feldman composed for the voice a little bit more, I think 40 minutes long for solo voice, I think. Yeah. Like
so that's interesting, because it means for instrument like a cello or a violin or something, there's been a lot of new music composed for long periods of time, but it seems there hasn't been an effort to try and push the voice too far. Is that your experience?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I would like to say 1 hour is approximately. Yeah, and pause, and maybe the second part or something. Yeah, but we will see. Thank you. Is it good? You? So some other question. Maybe you can hear at first what Tomasz SkweresWarsztaty says, and maybe after that you can make a question also for me. I can wait for him. That's good.
Hello, dear friends. I hope you can hear me. And I'm very happy to tell you some interesting things about the modern cello techniques. I will show you my PowerPoint presentation. And yes, it's this whole topic about contemporary techniques for cello is, I think it's endless. We could speak about it perhaps 5 hours, and we will find more details to speak about. But I tried to make a classification because in the contemporary music, especially for cello, there are so many possibilities, so many parameters which we can change and put together and combine together. So we will speak about each parameter which influence the sound production. Actually, many of these parameters, many of these techniques, also we know from the traditional music, but in the contemporary music, the composers want to combine and want to connect the parameters in a special way to create a high density of emotions and special sounds. So it's very important for a composer to know the possibilities of the instrument and how you can connect these parameters and these techniques. At first, I would like to say that it's really, for me, very, very important when I compose. I'm cellist and composer, and when I compose pieces, not for electronic, when I compose pieces for instrumentalists, that I use techniques for each instrument, and these techniques are connected with the gesture, with the playing gesture, so that that especially when I write solo pieces, that every contemporary technique is a special gesture which can create a special atmosphere and special emotion. And the instrumentalist, the cellist, is a kind of an actor on the stage. So some combinations of the techniques are very easy to make, some are not easy, and of course it's also good to use the combinations which are not so easy, but you have to think that the gesture is another playing gesture. So we will start just with the classification. I think we have more special techniques and more possibilities to create the sound and to change the sound with the right hand. With generally, it's the first page is very, very generally and very easy, just like in traditional music. We can play just arco, which means with the bow, or pizzicato, or we can use percussive techniques. So just clapping here or here, and I will speak about it later. So the first page is really very easy. And now we will focus on bow, on the bow position. The bow position influence the sound in a very significant way. So it's a big difference if I play with the bow here or here or here or here or perhaps here. It's really a very, very big difference. although there are perhaps only a few centimeters in between. Just we start with we can play sul tasto. It means we play on the fingerboard. It means we play here or higher than here. So the sound is the sound is not so focused, has a lot of air, is a little bit inconcrete and a little bit like whispering. So it's very good, this technique, to write passages in piano dynamics. Like whispering. Then, of course, we have ordinario. It means normal bow position. It's just the traditional sound of cello, which we know from Romantic and classical music. Sul ponticello is also an effect, a technique that we know from earlier music. Also, Vivaldi has some parts, a very famous, for example, in Winter of Four Seasons, there's a passage with. So this the people many centuries ago already knew about these possibilities to change the bow position to create a special sound. But in the modern music, you can write not only sul ponticello. You can decide how much the sound should be in the mode of sul ponticello. Sul ponticello means that you play very near to the bridge here. But actually, the most important thing is the sound. That the sound, the quality of sound, and the sound has a lot of overtones. And you can play when you play not so near to the bridge. You can write poco sul ponticello, and it's just a little bit more bright sound with a little bit more overtones, like. But you can also want, as a composer, a very, very bright and shrill sound, which a sound which has not a clear fundamental note, like. So that you cannot recognize the fundamental note so clear. And of course, you can play, it's special for contemporary music, directly on the bridge. When I'm playing directly on the bridge, I mute with my left hand the strings, because sometimes when you have to play forte, very loud on the bridge, directly on the bridge, I want a sound which has no pitch, which is pitchless. It's only a noise, and it's difficult to stay directly on the bridge. And when I don't mute the strings, it can happen that I by accident I touch the strings, and then the sound will come which I don't want. So I cover with my hand the strings in such a way that the strings are muted, and then I can play every rhythm in every dynamics. But of course, when I play directly on the bridge, it's always not a very loud dynamic. I like to, as a composer, I like to use the dynamic marks which which are connected with the effort which a musician has to do during the playing. So when I really want that a rhythm played directly on the bridge is heard very well, I write fortissimo, but of course I know it's just a noise, and this noise is always not very loud. But I prefer to write for the musicians fortissimo, and the musicians knows that the sound is not so loud, but they should invest a lot of energy to make the sound audible. So now we spoke about the bow positions sul tasto, and then ordinario, or sul ponticello, or directly on the bridge. Or you can write also molto sul tasto. It means really here. It's very hard to play here because you cannot play only on one string. But sometimes modern composers want to have a sound with 4 notes at the same time, and then you can use this technique to write molto sul tasto, and then you can play with on 4 strings at the same time, like this. Normally you cannot play with on 4 strings because the aim, the position of the strings is different. But for me, the most important thing, the most interesting thing, is the connection of these bow positions of this for me it's very important the gradual change of the bow position to create a very gradual interesting change of sound color. So perhaps when I can just start ordinario and then go gradual to sul ponticello. And go back. So it's very, in my pieces, I really like to use this idea that the sounds develops not only with dynamics, the sounds develops and change all the time, also with the color of the sound. So when I have one note, I can start sul tasto and go to ordinario again. Or, which is very, very interesting, I think, you can just start a sound directly on the bridge. It means you can hear only the noise, and then move the bow very, very slow, very gradual to ordinario. So you start directly on the bridge, then you move to molto sul ponticello, then poco sul ponticello, and then ordinario. It means normal sound. And it's a very important, very interesting process of creation of sound, where the sound starts with a noise, and then very slowly you can hear very high overtones, and then the sound became more and more focused and more clear, so that at the end the fundamental note is very clear audible. So I will show you, for example here. I'm not sure if you can hear through Zoom this sound, but the beginning is only noise and then very unclear, very high overtones at first, and then more and more lower overtones and fundamental note. I will play once more. Or when I make repetition, perhaps you can hear more. So it's really interesting when you can write a continuous rhythm, but with changing of the color, you can create a very interesting waves. And so on. Now I will speak about other bow positions which has not a concrete pitch, where the tone is not defined. So you can play also behind the bridge. It means here, between the bridge and the tilepiece. The sound sounds like a normal sound, but a shrill quality of sound. But the problem is you cannot decide which sound, which note exactly it will be. So I have only these four sounds. But it's sometimes very interesting to create a very interesting sounds. Or when you play directly on this wrapping here and use high bow pressure, it's a sound which I really like. I use it in a very brutal moments in my music. So it was about playing behind the bridge. Then we can play on the tilepiece. It means here. And on the tilepiece you have two sounds: a low sound and a higher sound. When you play here, you have the higher sound, and it's by chance, by accident now that the sounds are so harmonic and the sounds so good with this fifth, but it's on every instrument another pitch, but it's a nice sound color. And of course you can use the bow on each part of the instrument, just here or here or here on the body of the instrument. But it's very similar just to the sound directly on the bridge. And when you write directly on the bridge, the musician can change very fast from normal bow position to the noise. Just I play then one note here and then here. It's very easy to change. And when I should play here or here, I need perhaps more time. So I prefer to use the sound directly on the bridge than on the body of the instrument. Now we will speak, of course it's very easy, which part of the bow we use. Normally we use just the hair, and it's the name in Italian is arco crine. Arco means bow and crine means hair. And of course it's just normal to use the hair, but we have to write arco crine sometimes when before, in the passage before, we used collegno. Collegno is in Italian, it means with wood, with woods, with the wooden part of the bow. And when we play collegno, we play with this part of the bow. So it's an interesting sound. In older music, it's the oldest piece using this is Mozart violin concerto in the orchestra part in the last movement of the A major concerto. In the rondo there are some battuto, collegno battuto. So battuto means just hit the string. So just this, and it's a very good known and very old effect. And in the contemporary music, we use also collegno tratto. Tratto means just tenuto. We play legato, but with the wooden part of the bow. And this sound is very unconcrete. It's unfocused, very interesting, just a foggy sound with a lot of air and not so clear pitch. I like it. And of course, collegno tratto is never very loud. When I play fortissimo, it's the maximum for this technique. And the normal sound, it's much more, the normal sound when I play with hair is much louder. But it's a very interesting, fragile sound. Like misterioso character. And of course, you can use both at the same time, the hair and the wooden part of the bow. The idea to use both of them is to have this special sound of the wood, but you use the hair at the same time to make sure that the sound will not disappear. So it means when you use only the wooden part, sometimes in pianissimo the sound can disappear, and for some fragments, for some places it's not good. Then the composers write to play with hair and wooden part of the bow at the same time. And of course, a very important thing, I told you that collegno is just a very old technique, but you can just when you play collegno on the lower instrument, like double bass or cello, you can really hear very good the pitch of the note I play. On the violin, you can also hear the pitch of the note, but the pitch of the note is not so audible. It's audible, but not so clear. You can just hear more the hitting, the sound of the hitting, and a little bit of the note. But on cello, it's very easy to play in such a way that you can hear the pitch very well. But when you play very high on a string, the pitch of the note is not so clear. When I play, so when I go up, you can even hear the notes, but not so clear than comparing to the lower register. And which is very important, that you can use a very interesting effect, but only in the passages of a piece where cello is very exponated and other or solo or solistic, so that other instruments will not cover the cello. You can mute with the left hand the strings and then just play con legno battuto, and then depending of the place where my bow hit the string, the notes, the pitch of the notes changes. You can hear, I hope you can hear it here. When I mute with my left hand the strings, that I cannot hear, the pitch which is created by the left hand. I mute here, and then I make only the pitch with the bow, with the place where I hit where I hit the string. I hope you can hear it. I'm not sure, but I promise you, here I can hear it, and there are small, nice changes, and you can play whole melodies. And some composers like Helmut Lachemann used very exactly sometimes. They want really as very exact notes. So you can just notice and just learn where is which note, and you can write something. But of course, it will be never very, very exactly, and it's not possible to write a very complicated things with quarter tones. It has no sense. But some notes to fix the pitch is possible, but you have to know that it will be not very exactly. But I can play something. It's just out of tune, but you can hear the changes of the sound. And just very, very effective is just to go down, down or up. When you play, when you hit near to the bridge, the sound is higher. When you go this direction to the fingerboard, the sound becomes lower. So like this. Okay, then we will move to the next parameter. We are just speaking about the parameters, which are very important to create special sounds. The next parameter is articulation. Of course, articulation is just something we know since many centuries. But I wanted to speak about every parameter. So, of course, legato, you know, we play many notes, and in between these notes, we don't change the direction of the bow. Détaché means just normal notes, but every notes with a new bow, but long notes. Of course, we can play staccato or spiccato. It's spiccato, but it's very common and traditional technique. And ricochet or jeté is the same. We can just throw the bow, and then we have many short notes. And we can decide how many notes we want to hear. Perhaps I want to play 3 notes or 4 notes or 2 notes. But when a composer wants to hear, for example, 13 notes, it's very difficult. It's not possible really to count it so fast and to control it. But you can decide normally when you just throw the bow without controlling it. At first, it's loud, then it's becoming it will be gradually quieter and quieter. So it makes a natural decrescendo. And when you just without controlling just throw the bow on the string, it's the notes will be at first longer and then shorter and shorter. The distance between the short notes will be faster and faster. So like this. But of course, I can control it and I can start, if I want, I can start immediately fast. Or I can make a ritardando. For make a ritardando, I throw the bow very fast and then I start to control it, and then at the end I make every impulse, every of the impulses I make separately. But this is all possible, and of course it's nice in modern music and contemporary music. You can also mute with the left hand and make a lot of nice effects with ricochet. Just also moving from sul ponticello to sul tasto. You can make this articulation with hairs, it means crine, just like now, or you can make ricochet with collegno battuto. Is a very common, and many composers like these techniques. With notes or muted string. So you can hear also the change of the sound. And next parameter is the bow pressure. Just not or it is another bow pressure. For example, after bow over pressure, you have to write normal bow pressure that the musician knows that now you have to play ordinary or just normal. But you can use bow over pressure. It means the sound is destroyed and you can decide how much the sound should be destroyed. You can just that you can hear the note, the pitch of the note, or you can just play a very big overpressure. In such case, you can hardly hear the note, the pitch of the note. And for me, it's always very, as I said, it's important and interesting the transition, the slowly and gradual transition from one technique to another technique, the sound changing, the very slow, gradual sound changing I like. So you can also play normal pressure and then more and more pressure, and it means very slowly the sounds start to be very slowly destroyed and more destroyed, like this. Go back. So I play normal sound and then gradually destroy it. Gradually the sound became a clear sound. And normally, we think about bow overpressure in very loud and aggressive passages like this, and usually is used in these cases. But you can also use overpressure in soft passages. Of course, bow overpressure will be never very, very, very quiet, but you can just use also in piano dynamics, also overpressure to have a destroyed, interesting sound, but not a loud sound. But in order to do it, I think it's much better to use the sound sul tasto. It means to play here, not here. When you play here on the fingerboard sul tasto, the sound is not so loud, and you can use the technique of bow overpressure, and it's not loud. Like and actually, to create the bow overpressure, you don't have to press the whole pressure, the whole weight of your hand. You just create it only with this finger. That when I make a little bit with this finger, I can make impulses which are small bow overpressure, small destroying impulses. I can show you. And I will not use a lot of power or energy. So in this way, you can use overpressure also in the quiet passages of a piece. And of course, we have very light bow pressure. It's when you use a lot of bow and very light bow pressure. We called it flottando. Flottando means in Italian like flute, like because when you play in a lower register of flute, the sound has a lot of air and is not very focused. And we can also make this sound on cello, like this. So I was just playing flottando with very, very light pressure and a lot of bow, and you can use it in every bow position. Sul tasto, sul ponticello, normal position. Everything is possible. But the most famous flottando sound is on the fingerboard, so sul tasto, like this. Like this. Okay, we move to pizzicato techniques, because of course you can play with the right hand pizzicato, and just you can play so-called normal pizzicato with every finger you can play. Perhaps not with the smallest finger, but you can use every finger. When you make pizzicato with the thumb, the sound is very, very open. But it depends on the situation and how fast it is. So just normal pizzicato with fingertip. Then you can make pizzicato with nail. The sound is much more sharp. It's very sharp sound with the nail. And very famous technique is Bartók pizzicato. We take the string up and then leave it, and it means the string goes down with a lot of with a lot of with a strong pressure, and we hit the fingerboard with a lot of pressure. It's very important to know as a composer that Bartók pizzicato is very effective actually on cello and double bass, but only in the lowest register of every string. So when I play for example, C, the middle C, as a Bartók pizzicato on a A string, it's a very effective sound, very loud percussive sound. When I play it the same note on the G string, also the middle C, here, it's almost not really possible. It's also possible, but it's not so effective compared to this. And here, I cannot make this. When the string is too short, it's not possible that the string will hit the fingerboard. So, and you have to think about it that when you write for Bartók pizzicato, you are not so fast comparing to normal pizzicato. Normal pizzicato, you can play just not that fast like with the bow, but quite fast. But with Bartók pizzicato, it's not so. Every time you have to catch the string with hold the string with 2 fingers and then move it up and then leave it. So it's the fastest, I think. I cannot play it faster, but normal pizzicato, it's much faster. Of course, we can use Bartók pizzicato also, or every pizzicato you can use. We can play with the left hand, or Bartók pizzicato even. When we play Bartók pizzicato, it's very important that we catch the string just in the middle of the part of the string we play. So in the middle of the distance between the finger and the bridge. So when I play in the first position here, the middle is here. Middle place is here. When I play here in the 4th position, and want to make in the same place Bartók pizzicato, it will not sound. I have to find the place here. So during playing a scale from down to upstairs, I have to move also with the position, with the place where I catch the string, like this. Like this. Okay, we will move to pizzicato position. Of course, every of these pizzicato techniques you can use in different positions. So you can play normal pizzicato ordinario, it means here, or sul ponticello, very near to bridge. The sound is a little bit like on harp. When on harp the technique sur la table, I think is the sur la table, when they play very near to the body of the instrument. Or on guitar you have also this technique. The sound is very short and more percussive. Of course, we can play pizzicato under the bridge. You have just only the 4 notes because you cannot change the pitch of the string here. Then we will speak about the playing techniques with the left hand. We can focus at first on the pressure. The pressure decides if the sound is a normal sound, like, or if it's a harmonic. So when we use a normal pressure, we just put the finger with enough pressure on the string. It's just a normal sound. When we want to play harmonics, we only touch the string. And I was playing now natural harmonics. It means on every string you can play with the natural harmonics overtone scale. So I will show you on the C string. It's just the open string, then the second partial note. And of course, till the ninth or 10th partial tone, you can just write everything. But the highest partial notes are very, very, very difficult to reach just when you play something here and you want to have immediately this note. It's very, very difficult to find this note. But perhaps, other till the octave or it's the eighth partial tone or even more, the 9th or 10th, it is not so difficult. This note you can use. This note you can reach every time, I think. It's not so easy, but when you practice it. But the higher notes sounds fantastic, but it's very difficult to reach it like ad libitum, like suddenly. But of course, you can play melodies when you are here and you move from one overtone to another overtone. It's not so difficult. You can decide and you can play a lot of melodies. And so we can hear the overtone scale. So when you use only small intervals, you can use really the highest notes and also notate it very exactly, because it's not so difficult to find it when you are here and use small intervals. But when you want like this, it's very difficult and almost not so possible. And with the light pressure, we play also artificial harmonics. It means it's a little bit longer story. I think we have not enough time for it, but we just, instead of use the open string, we use a normal pressure with a finger, normally on cello with a thumb, and then with another finger we only touch the string with the with the pressure for harmonics. The most common harmonic is the quart, is the fourth harmonic, and it means it sounds 2 octaves higher than the note with the normal pressure. I play here. Here I have the B, and then it sounds 2 octaves higher. But of course we can use other harmonics. We can play third harmonics, thirds, like this, or quint. There are many possibilities. We can also mix it with tremolo, with normal notes. If I like it. I play on the D string, I play normal note, on the just with a thumb. On the A string, I play a tremolo between normal notes and fourth harmonic. So we have a lot of possibilities with harmonics. We could speak about it 3 or 4 hours. And of course we can make glissandos on harmonics, and when we play a glissando on natural harmonics, we hear just the overtone scale of the open string. And normally the musicians has the not very good the musicians sometimes are lazy and they use the string only in this part, so they don't want to use the highest harmonics, but the highest harmonics are the most interesting in the overtone scale. So when you write a piece and you use a glissando on natural harmonics, you should really insist that the musicians play the glissando really reaching the highest register, like this. I like to play the harmonics with the thumb, because then I can reach, I have a good feeling to reach the string, and I can play on both strings together. So for me, only the highest register is the interesting one. The lowest register of natural harmonics glissando is not so interesting. It's just a dominant seventh chord, like it's not so interesting. It's only this. It's not so. But when you play with the very high, it became to be very interesting. Also, we can play with a half pressure of the fingers. So it means between normal pressure and harmonic pressure. It's normal pressure, it's harmonic pressure, and between it's like that is not. The sound is not a harmonic. You can hear a little bit the pitch of the normal note, but it's very unclear. It's a lot of overtones, and it's very mysterious, I think. I was playing now with a half pressure. Of course, we can use the left hand to mute the string, and then we should do it in this way that we cannot hear a concrete pitch of the note, but we can hear if we play lower or higher notes a little bit. It's a small difference of the sound, or on which string we play. And also we in modern music we use not only the normal articulation of the left hand, just like this, that every note is a new articulation. We play a lot of glissandos. On cello, the distance in the lower register is quite big between a semitone. We have a lot of space, so we can really make a very slow glissandos and make interesting detuning, microtone detuning, for example. So we can play very slow glissandos. On cello, or glissandos on natural harmonics, or Ziegler glissando. It's artificial harmonics, but normal glissando with artificial harmonics is like this. When we go up, we have to make the distance between the two fingers smaller. But in Ziegler glissando, in this effect, we don't change the distance, and then the harmonic note, the harmonic which sounds change in a very interesting way. So you can hear like this. I really like this Ziegler effect. And of course, we can use just articulation like finger tapping. It's especially very effective on the lower strings. And of course, when we want to have very loud tapping, we cannot play very fast. We need the time to take the fingers and hit every note separately. Okay, then we go to the percussive techniques. Just it's very easy. You can just hit or play percussive effects on the cello in almost every part of the cello, like here, like you can hit the string also here. What we know from popular music, or with both hands you can just make percussive effects with fingers or with palm of the hand or with a fist. But of course, please watch out that you should not make really fortissimo, don't to destroy the instrument. Okay, then I think it's all about the techniques, and perhaps we can. Do you have some questions about the techniques?
Sorry, Tomasz, kannst du Freigabe ausschalten, das Bildschirm?
Ja. Danke.
Ja. Und du kannst auch bei Chat schauen vielleicht, also ja. Interessante Kommentare waren da.
Ah, okay. I will see in chat. There's some... Thank you for the nice comments and for nice sentences. And yes, if you have some questions, please ask me.
I mean,
Yes.
something about the technique is also by Baroque technique. So by chat, you can see.
Yes. Because about collegno, that it's very old technique that we hit the string with the wooden part of the bow, and it's really so. I know it in Mozart, in Wiener Classic, but also it exists in Baroque, and the same sul Ponticello. The famous example is Winter of Four Seasons. Okay, if you have no questions, I will see if we have some new. Then thank you, Robert, about your what you wrote, that the first conlegno battuto use was in Baroque. First no usage is Tobias Hume in first part of Arias. So thank you so much for this commentary.
Thank you so much for the lesson. It was very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. And perhaps I would like to tell you, because the event is organized by the Austrian Culture Forum, and I would like to say a few sentences about the modern music, contemporary music life in Austria. Of course, it's a very long, very long theme, very long topic, but just to give you a very short and small overview about it. One second. Of course, I have the feeling that although Austria is quite a small country, but the new music scene is very interesting and very with a lot of different streamings and different styles, and there are a lot of space also for young ensembles, young people to make experimental things, and the scene is very colorful and interesting. And then I will show you, we have, of course, in Austria there are a lot of festivals for modern music. The most important, of course, is Wien Modern. It's every year a very long festival, a whole month or even sometimes longer. Every day, one or two or something, sometimes 3 concerts. Wien Modern focused, half of the festival focused on music from Austria, to present composers living in Austria, and also to present music from all over the world. Also, we have Musik Protocol Graz. It's also a very important festival, also with orchestra performances. Then Klangspur and Tirol we have, then Aspekte Salzburg and Linz Festival, 4020, and you can see also smaller festivals. Yes Weekend, it's a very nice new festival of the ÖNM. ÖNM is the Österreichische Ensemble für Neue Musik, Austrian Ensemble für New Music, and they started last year. This year they started to create this festival every year to present to present themselves as an ensemble, and the composers who cooperate with them. But of course, almost every big music festival in Austria, just a festival about all styles of music, not only modern music. Almost every festival of music has some concerts or some pieces with contemporary music. For example, Salzburger Festspiele is really not focused on new music. It's very traditional, but even these very traditional festivals has 1 or 2 concerts with new music. But we have music festivals which are for all styles of music or period of music, but which has a focus on new music with perhaps with guest composers or composer in residence. For example, Carinthia Sommer, it's in Carinthia in Austria. They have every year, I think they have guest composers, composer in residence, or Grafeneck Festival in Lower Austria. They organize very, very interesting for composers, very interesting masterclass, Ink Stillwet. It's for the name is Ink Stillwet, and the composers can conduct their own pieces with a very good orchestra and learn how to conduct. And while conducting their own piece, the composers can learn a lot about how to write for orchestra. And it's in Grafeneck Festival, very interesting masterclass. And you can see Bregenzer Festspiele, Imago Dei, a lot of interesting festival, just music festivals, but with focus also on new music, not only, but also. And of course, we have a lot of ensembles for contemporary music. Of course, I could not write every of them because there are so many, and it's really fantastic in Austria that also small ensembles can get some support from the state, not only the biggest one, and also small experimental group can organize some concerts. And so the scene is very various and very colorful. Of course, the most important ensemble is Klangforum Wien, but also Österreichisches Ensemble für Neue Musik in Salzburg, or Ensemble Face in Vienna, or Schallfeld Ensemble in Graz. They are more specialized for mainstream new music, but Schallfeld Ensemble is more interested in works with electronics, or there are special ensembles, they are interested in electronic music, like ensemble names in Salzburg, or Black Page Orchestra. They like to play very, very interesting, hard, really hardcore music with very loud pieces, very dark pieces. So I think it's very interesting to have such an ensemble also. Okay, if you have some questions, I would like to answer you. Okay, then I think perhaps we can read something here. Frederick from Austrian Culture Forum wrote us in the chat important, interesting information, special scholarships for Ukrainian artists in Vienna. When you can see it, it's important and interesting for the Ukrainian artists.
I just posted the links and the whole premise behind our workshop was to provide some kind of help and guidance for Ukrainian artists. I posted a link made by the Austrian Cultural Forum in Kiev and Lviv. So if you're like an artist from Ukraine and you had to flee, there are different kinds of scholarships you can get for your organization or for you as an artist. It's a useful link if you want to check it out. I think it's definitely helpful. From my part, that's all.
Fantastic. Okay, then I think we are ready. Then we wish you all a very nice evening, and thank you so much for participating and for watching and for listening to our workshop.
Thank you so much also from me.
Thank you.
And I hope music is always with you, and so yeah.
Thank you, Tomasz. Thank you, Kaoko. It was amazing. Thanks everybody for coming, and don't forget, in 2 weeks Warsaw autumn starts. We're going to have lots of events here in the Austrian Cultural Forum, so please come and stay safe and have a nice evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.